Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra, which you can't see. Working on a new section here, absolute value equations. And of course, I don't have any problems in there. Get that fixed. Okay, so what do we got going on here? It says find the solutions to the equations. I think that should say equation. Find the solutions to the equation. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. We got the absolute value of 14x is equal to 0. And of course, in the green checkbox, that's what I mean, 5's not the answer, but that gives you an idea of what the answer is supposed to be written like. Okay, so let's go over to the marker board and write this down. So we had the absolute value of 14x is equal to 0, and it says find the solution. I don't know, should I write that up here? Find the solution. We'll just abbreviate it. Hey, well, if you don't know what the absolute value is, I guess I'll tell you. So let's say we had the absolute value of x, and x happened to be 3. Well, if we took the absolute value of 3, what do we get back? We just get back 3. Okay, see that? But what if we had the absolute value of negative 3? What the absolute value does, it just makes whatever's in here positive. So if the number was initially positive, it doesn't do anything to it. But if the number is negative, it makes it positive. Okay, so there's reasons why we need to have this function. Actually, this is a function, by the way, the absolute value function, except we use this notation here. Alright, so that's all that the absolute value does. It takes whatever's inside and makes it positive. Alright. That's it. That's all that it does. Okay, so what's going to happen here is you drop the absolute value signs, make this, well, then just rewrite this. So you do this, there's a step 2 process to this. You're going to have two equations, is what I'm trying to say. You're going to have this equation, and then you do it again, right, 14x, and make whatever this is negative. So we'll put a negative 1 times 0. But what is a negative 1 times 0? Well, it's just 0, and so you're just left with 14x is equal to 0, which is the same thing as the first one that we did. Okay? Alright. Now another way you can look at this is that you can break this up into two separate absolute values. You have the absolute value of 14 times the absolute value of x. And a lot of times you'll see this. Okay, the absolute value of 14 times the absolute. Well, what's the absolute value of 14? Well, the absolute value of 14 is just 14. So we're left with 14 times the absolute value of x. Alright, the absolute value of x. And then, of course, let's look at this here. So we have 14 times the absolute value of x is equal to 0. You can multiply through by the, not the conjugate, the reciprocal to both sides. And of course, that just becomes 0, and so that's left with the absolute value of x is equal to 0. And the solution to this is the only solution is 0, right? Plug 0 in, and it's equal to 0. Okay? So you can break these absolute values down, as you can see here. Alright. Okay. So anyway, the solution to this guy, obviously, the only solution is 0. Let's plug that in to the checkbox and click there, correct? Or you can hit the answer up above, which actually says x is equal to 0, and I think I Need to get rid of that too, so need to make some adjustments there. Okay. Alright. Of course, I always have to end this situation with, we're over here, go to math.com. See you there. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on Algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. That's what we're looking at. Need to fill that stuff in. Find the solutions to the equation. Write in numerical order. So we're going to write in numerical order in the green box here because you have two possibilities, but let's just narrow it down to one. Alright, we got the absolute value of x is equal to 15. I almost couldn't say that. The absolute value of x is equal to 15. So let's write that down. Is equal to 15. And of course, up here is find the solutions. We'll just abbreviate it there. Okay, so we're going to write this, we're going to drop this absolute value bar and write x is equal to 15, okay, and, or I should say, or I guess, x is equal to, and then you just make whatever this is over here negative 15, okay, got that? So x is equal to 15 or x is equal to negative 15. Alright. Okay, so in other words, we can plug 15 in, and the absolute value of 15 is equal to 15, or we could put in, remember, the absolute value of negative 15. Remember what the absolute value bars do? It makes whatever's inside of here positive. So we end up with positive 15. Alright, no big mystery on what this absolute value thing does. It just makes whatever's inside positive. Okay, there you go. Alright, so our solutions are negative 15 and 15. See that? Those are the solutions. So let's go back to the web page. Negative 15, comma, 15. Now I say write in numerical order just because this is how this has been programmed. Alright, and of course you can always click on the answer if you don't know. Right, you can always click on the video button, and someday I'll have the help button programmed, but that's not exactly a priority right now. Alright, so negative 15, 15, we're done. Okay. Alright, we're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. So we need to fill that out. Find the solutions to the equation. Of course, this is an absolute value equation. We've got some absolute value bars that are surrounding one of our expressions here. Alright, so we want to find the solution. So let's go to the whiteboard. Let's write that down. X plus 6 is equal to 0. The absolute value of x plus 6 is equal to 0. Is that big enough? Okay, so remember we're going to rewrite this twice. We're going to write x plus 6 is equal to 0, and then we're going to write x plus 6 is equal to, and we make this a negative, or multiply it by negative 1. Okay? Negative 1 times 0. But negative 1 times 0 is just 0. Right? Just 0. So why don't we just write 0 there? But I need to at least show you that. Well, we end up with the same thing here. That's okay. And so remember how to solve this equation. You just subtract 6 from both sides. And what are we left with? We're left with x is equal to negative 6. And of course, if we did that to this side, obviously the same thing. Right? So we only get one solution here. -6. And you can always check this out. You can always check this out by taking this -6 and plugging it back into our absolute value equation. And obviously -6 plus 6 is 0, and the absolute value of 0 is just 0. Alright, so there you go. Okay, alright, -6, that's what we got to remember. Let's type that in. Let's check, make sure that's going to work. Correct. Answer is correct. Okay, there you go. So you can come on, practice makes perfect. We're over here at GoToMath.com. See you there. Okay, we're over here at somewhere. We're at GoToMath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations 2.2. I believe is what we're looking at. Find the solutions to the equation, write in numerical order. So remember, I'm having you write the solutions in numerical order just because I've got a program that way in the box. All right, it doesn't matter what order you can, you really write them in for the answer, but that's just because the way this is programmed. Okay, so I have to talk about that. Okay, so what do we got? We got the absolute value of x plus 8 is equal to 20. The absolute value of x plus 8 is equal to 20. Okay, so we're going to write this twice. We're going to get two separate equations here. First one, we just drop the absolute value bars. So we have x plus 8 is equal to 20. And then we're going to rewrite this again. X plus 8 is equal to, now remember we multiplied this by -1, and so that gives us -20. See that? Alright, so we're going to solve this equation, solve that equation, and that should be both of our solutions to the original equation. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, let's do this one. So remember we just subtract 8 from both sides. So we end up with x is equal to, what is this going to be, 12? I hope. Okay, so that's one of our solutions, 12. And of course, if you took 12 and you plugged it in right here, 12 plus 8 is 20. Alright, so we know that's a solution. Good to go. Now this one over here, remember we subtract 8 from both sides. And we're left with x is equal to -28. -28. Okay, so we can always check this by taking the -28. Let's just do that right here. And you know what? We're going to use a different color. How's that? Let's use we'll use red. So okay, so we're just checking this. So -28 plus 8. Is equal to supposedly 20, but we got to check that. So -28 plus 8 is going to be -20. And of course the absolute value, remember, of a negative number inside makes it positive, and therefore we get 20. So that checks out. So our two solutions is going to be 12 and -28. And of course, I said we want to write those in numerical order. So -28, comma 12, and that's really just for the checkbox, but it doesn't matter. You could say 12, -28, doesn't matter which way, but remember, it's for this purpose only. -28, comma 12. Let's click on that. Correct. If you don't know the answer, you can always click there. And of course, you can always click on the video button up here and watch this video. Alright, which you've probably already done. Where are we at? Okay, we're finished with that. Moving on to the next problem. So we're over here at GoToMath.com, working some absolute value equations. See you there. Okay, we're here at GoToMath.com. Click up here on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. And we are doing 3.1. 1, I believe. Find the solutions to the equation, write in numerical order, and of course that's just for this box here. It doesn't really matter the order in which you write your solutions, but okay. So we'll want to write this down. We're going to go over to the marker board and find the solutions. Got it. Where are we at? There we are. Okay, so we want to find the solutions to this equation. And we'll just abbreviate it SOLN. Alright, so we have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 16 is equal to 18. Okay. First thing we want to do is get this in the standard form to where we just have the absolute value over here on the left hand side. So we need to do something with this 3. And of course, being a coefficient like it is, we multiply through by the reciprocal to both sides. And I'm not exactly sure why I wrote 8 there. We'll get that worked out here real quick. That's a 3. Whoops. 3. Okay. So we've got 1/3 times 3, so that'll cancel out to be a 1 there, but we won't rewrite that. And so we have the absolute value of x plus 16 is equal to, and of course 3 goes into 18, 6 times? Alright. So now we got this in more of the standard form. And what we'll want to do now is drop the absolute value signs and just rewrite x plus 16 is equal to 6, and then of course we're going to rewrite it again, x plus 16, except this time remember we multiply by a -1 times whatever's over here, and that leaves that with a -6. So now we have 2 equations, and we want to go ahead and solve for both of them. So remember, we take this, we subtract 16 to both sides, or you could think of it this way, taking the 16 over to the right hand side, and we're left with 6 minus 16, okay, and therefore x is equal to -10. So that looks like that's going to be one of our solutions. And then the other one, of course, we will subtract 16 from both sides, right, or just move the 16 over, and we'll be left with x is equal to -6 minus 16, which means that x is equal to -22. Is that right? Alright, so we've got -10 and -22, and of course we'll write that up here. And for the green checkbox, we want to make sure we write that in numerical order. Right, so this just becomes -22 and -10. I don't know, something seems fishy about that, but let's get over there and type that in. -22, comma, -10. I'm going to actually click here. Yeah, okay. So that should be correct. Of course, you can click on the answer up here, and if you don't know, alright. So there you go. Okay. We're getting a little bit more complicated now as we work further on through this problem set. And we're over here at GoToMath.com. You can come on by practice. See you later. Okay, we're over here at GoToMath.com. Click on the Algebra, and let's go down to Absolute Value Equations 3.2. Okay, so we're going to be wanting to find the solution to this equation, or solutions actually, and of course we'll write those solutions in numerical order if you want to check them check your work before you actually see the answer. Alright, so let's spend a second here and let me write this down. Negative 5 absolute value of x plus 14 is equal to negative 20. Let's, what are we going to do here? Go over to the whiteboard. That's it. So the idea is we want to find the solutions to the equation. And this is the equation. Negative 5 absolute value of x plus 14 is equal to negative 20. Now we want to get this thing in more of a standard form where we just have nothing but the absolute value of some function over here to the left hand side. And in order to do that, we need to get rid of this negative 5, and we're going to do that by multiplying through by its conjugate. Just about to put a negative down there in the bottom. And so we'll multiply through by to both sides by negative 1 over 5. And we'll put that in parentheses because of that negative symbol. So now we have negative 1/5 times a negative 5 here. And so that'll give us a 1. Alright, so we can rewrite this as x plus 14 is equal to, now let's go ahead and simplify over here. We got negative 20 times negative 1/5, and a negative is positive, and 20 times 1/5 is going to be 4. Alright, so we got it in the standard form that we wanted in, and now we can go ahead and drop the absolute value signs. And so we have x plus 14 is equal to 4. And of course we're going to rewrite this again, x plus 14, except this time we're going to multiply this side by negative 1. And so that gives us a negative 4. So now we have two equations, and we want to now solve and find the solution for both of these equations. Alright. So we'll go ahead and take this positive 14 over to the right hand side, and it becomes negative 14, and now we can write, since 4 minus 14 is negative 10. So negative 10 will be one of our solutions to our equation, and now we'll go ahead and do the other side. So we have x is equal to negative 4 minus 14. Right, taking this 14 over here to this side, because it's positive, we take it to the right and becomes negative. And now we have x is equal to negative 18, negative 18. So now we have two solutions. And you can always check your solutions by taking them and plugging them into the original and seeing if that's a true statement or not. And of course we're going to write these in numerical order where the smallest goes on the left hand side. Okay, so negative 18 and negative 10. Let's go back. Now like I said, you can take the negative 10, plug it in right here. Negative 10 plus 14 is going to be 4, and the absolute value of 4 is 4, and 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Alright, so anyway, so we have negative 18, negative 10. Let's make sure the checkbox is programmed correctly. Whoa, I about made a mistake. Don't want to do that. Correct. Okay. So there you go. We are somewhere. Refresh the page. We're over here at gotomath.com. Look, there's Tyrannosaurus Rex. I guess we lost internet connection. That must be what's going on here. I took a short break, and we lost internet connection. Anyway, so we're over here at gotomath.com. See you later. We are at gotomath.com working some algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations, and let's look at 4.1. 4.1. Find the solutions to this equation, and of course we'll write the answer in numerical order in the box if you want to check that. Okay. So let's take a second here and write that down. 9x plus 1 is equal to 20. Okay, I got it. All right. So we're wanting to find the solution to the equation. And the equation is we have 9x plus 1 is equal to 20. Right. So we're going to go ahead and drop the absolute value bars and solve for this equation. But we got another equation to deal with, and that is 9x plus 1. Now remember, we dropped the absolute value bars, but then we multiplied this right hand side by negative 1, so that becomes negative 20. And now we have two equations that we need to solve for. I think we can do that. So remember, we take this 1 over to the right hand side, it becomes negative. We don't need to go through all the baby steps anymore. So we have 20 minus 1. So now we're left with 9x is equal to 19. And of course we are going to take this 9 diagonally down. The same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal of 9 to both sides, 1/9 to both sides. But let's kind of skip those steps now. We're all grown up. So one of the solutions is x equal to 19 over 9. So if you were to plug 19 over 9 right here, the 9's would cancel out. You'd have 19 plus 1 is 20, and the absolute value of 20 is 20. So that's one of the solutions. And of course, we'll come over here and work on this one now. We have negative 20, bring in the 1 over to the right, becomes minus 1. And so now we have 9x is equal to negative 21. And of course, just take that 9 diagonally down. Negative 21 divided by 9, and the answer, the question is, will that simplify down, reduce down any? And it doesn't look like it. Okay, so that's the smaller number. So remember, in the green checkbox, we're going to write our answer like such. Okay, and it doesn't really matter, but that's just for this green checkbox. All right, negative 21 over 9, 19 over 9. Can we remember that? I don't know. Whoa. Oh, you know what? Negative 7 over 3, 19 over 9. Did I not simplify something down? Yeah. I think I said you can't simplify that down, but now I see it. That's 7 times 3 on top, and this is 3 times 3 on bottom. And of course, 3's cancel out there, and you're left with negative 7 over 3. Wow, I should have seen that. Negative 7 over 3, remember, and then of course 19 over 9. That didn't simplify down at all, so it's a good thing I caught that. Let's go ahead and check, make sure this works okay. Actually, it better work perfectly, because in math it's all about precision, isn't it, for the most part? Correct? Alright. So there you go. Okay, so we're over here at gotomath.com. You can come on by, practice, and I'll see you later. Okay, we're here at gotomath.com. Let's click on the algebra. Go down to absolute value equations, and 4.2 is what we'll be working on. Looks like find the solutions to the equation, and then for this checkbox, write in numerical order. Okay, so let's go ahead and jot that down real quick. 8x minus 8 is equal to 19. Equal to 19. So let's do that. So we're trying to find the solutions, and I should say solutions there. I don't know if that's the proper way to abbreviate that, but that's the way I'm doing it, so sorry. Anyway, let's just go ahead and write this thing down. So we have the absolute value of 8x Yeah, I should have been saying solutions. I think I've been saying solution. Alright, I think a couple of them only had one solution. Okay, so how does this work out? Well, first thing we're going to do is just drop the absolute value bars and rewrite. Okay, so that's one equation, and of course we got the other one. We drop the absolute value bars, but then we multiply the right hand side over here by -1, so that becomes -19. Okay, got it? Good. Now we've got two equations, and we'll work on this one over here first. So we have 8x is equal to, take that -8, bring it over to the right, becomes a +8. So now we're left with 8x is equal to 27. I forgot what the heck that is. So then we have x is equal to 27 over 8, and does that reduce down? That's the question. And I don't think it does, right? Okay, so now we're going to look at the right hand side. Look at that other equation and see what we got going on over there. Okay, so taking the 8 to the other side, we have 8x is equal to -19 plus 8, and so we have 8x is equal to, and what the heck is that going to be? -11. Right, and then of course we take the x, or take this 8 diagonally down, and we're left with -11 over 8. Alright, so hopefully it's all clicking up to this point. Of course, -11 over 8, that doesn't reduce down any either, so we got to watch out for that. Now, of course, remember we was writing these in numerical order, so -11 over 8, 27 over 8. Okay, and it doesn't really matter what order you write these in, but remember that's only for the checkbox. Alright, let's -11 over 8 and 27 over 8. Alright, of course we'll make sure the checkbox is working correctly. 7 over 8. Right. Correct. Okay. Alright, so we're over here at Go To Math, working some absolute value equations. You can come on by, check it out, and I'll see you later. Hey, we're here at GoToMath.com. Come up here, click on Algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations and 5.1. I believe that's it right there. Find the solutions to the equation right in numerical order. That means from smallest to largest. Alright, that's if you want to insert it into the checkbox before you actually click answer to see the answer. So let's write this one down and then head over to the whiteboard. Ready? Okay, got that. Let's go over to the whiteboard now. Alright, so we're trying to find the solutions to this equation, and let's just go ahead and write the equation down. We have the absolute value of 7x plus 6, and then we have this plus 1 here, kind of throw you off, is equal to 21. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this in the standard form to where we have just the absolute value over here on the left hand side, and that means we're going to take this positive 1 over to the right hand side, and it now becomes a -1. Okay, and you know what, let's just do that right now. So we're subtracting 1 from both sides is what we're doing, so we don't have to rewrite or erase. So we've got 21 minus 1, that's going to make that a 20. Okay, okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to rewrite this twice, and we're going to drop those absolute value bars. All right, and then we're going to drop the absolute value bars again. We'll write it over here and make this over here, multiply it by -1 or make it negative. You want to do that. Okay. Alright, so let's solve for x in this equation, and that means we're going to take the 6 over here to the other side, and therefore we have 7x is equal to 20 minus 6, so that gives us what, 14. So we have 7x is equal to 14, and therefore x is equal to 2. So that happens to be one of our solutions. Now the other one over here, we're going to take this 6 over here to this side, so we end up having 7x is equal to -20 minus 6, so we have 7x is equal to -26, and therefore x is equal to -26 over 7. Remember, we just moved diagonally down the 7, or you could think of it as multiplying by the keep wanting to say the conjugate, but that's not it. Oh my god, my mind's gone blank. The reciprocal, right, of that. I need to go see a doctor. Alright, so this is where we're at. We've got -26 over 7 and 2, and of course what you can always do is take that 2 and come up here and plug it in. So 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 6 is 20, right? And the absolute value of 20 is just 20, and then add 1 and you get 21. So that's a way to check that. And of course you can take the -26 over 7 and plug it in. So the 7's will cancel out. We'll be left with -26 plus 6 is -20, but when you take the absolute value of -20, you get +20, and 20 plus 1 is 21. So it looks like these two guys here check out. So let's go back to the web page. -26 over 7 and 2. Yeah. Alright, or you can plug it in right up here. Now remember, it needs to be in the numerical order, that is smallest to largest. So let's just make sure all that's going to work out. No spaces. Don't put any spaces in there. Click answer correct. Okay. So it all looks good. So come on over to gotomath.com. You can practice. Everything's well structured here on exactly what you need to know. Well, at least get started anyhow. Alright, and we'll see you later. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations, and we're going to be looking at 5.2. 5.2. Find the solutions to the equation, write numerical order, and that's for the checkbox, the green checkbox. Okay, so let's spend a second here and write this down. Alright, so this looks a lot like the last one, 5.1 that is. Okay, so we've got the absolute value of 7x minus 1 plus 3 is equal to 11. And I'm going to make sure 7x minus 1, yeah. Okay, just making sure. So let's go ahead and take this 3 before we do anything to the other side. Alright, so we end up with 7x minus 1. The absolute value is equal to. Now, of course, I guess I'll do this. We're subtracting 3 from both sides. Alright, remember to do that. Okay, so we got 11 minus 3, and that is what? 8? 8. Okay. So we're going to end up rewriting two equations here. First one, we just drop the absolute value bars. And then the second one, we drop the absolute value bars. Except what's over here on the right hand side, we're going to multiply it by a -1. So that's going to make that a -8. Alright, so let's go ahead and solve for x in this problem. So we have 7x is equal to, now remember we're taking that -1 over here to the right hand side. That's kind of the fast way of doing things. So it becomes 8 plus 1, and now we have 7x is equal to 9, right? We added 1 to both sides. Okay, and so then x is equal to 9/7. So that should be one of our solutions. And then of course here we're going ahead, take that 1 to the other side. We got -8 plus 1. So we end up with 7x is equal to -7. Therefore x is equal to -1. -1 is our other solution. And we can always check that by plugging that in up here. 7 times -1 is -7. -7 minus 1 is -8. And the absolute value of -8 is +8. And then 8 plus 3 is 11, right? And then of course you can do the same thing with the 9/7. 9 over 7. 7's cancel out. You have 9 minus 1, which is 8. And 8 plus 3 is 11 also. So these are our two solutions, -1 and 9/7. We'll come back here to the web page. Alright. And if you don't know what to put in here, you can always just click the answer button. Now remember, no spaces. Let's click the answer. It says correct. Alright. So there you go. We're over here somewhere. We are over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. We're looking at 6.1. Get that to come up. We got it. Alright. Find the solutions to the equation right in numerical order. That means smallest to largest. I got to repeat that every time, it seems like. I don't think I've been mentioning it really. Anyway, let's write this down. We have the absolute value of x minus 1 plus the absolute value of x minus 5 is equal to 45. It's equal to 45. Okay, I don't know what that was. Alright, let's bring this whiteboard up. So we got the absolute value of x minus 1 plus the absolute value of x minus 5, and that's equal to 45. Equal to 45. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and drop the absolute value bars. So we have x minus 1 plus x minus 5 is equal to 45. So we got this equation here. We want to solve for x. Collect up your like terms. So we have two x's that are like, and then we have minus 5, or minus 1 minus 5, that's -6. And then of course we're going to take this -6 over to this side. So now it becomes +6, right? And so now we have 2x is equal to 51. Therefore x is equal to 51 over 2. 51 over 2. So that should be one of our solutions. Yeah, 51. Okay. Now what we're going to do now is draw a divider there. We drop the absolute value bars. X minus 1 plus x minus 5 is equal to, and just like we've done in the past, we just multiply that by -1, or it's negative. And we get -45. Okay, -45. Collect up our like terms. We have 2x minus 6, just like we did earlier. And then, of course, we got bring this 6 over to this side so it becomes a plus 6. So we have 2x is equal to negative 45 plus 6. So 2x is equal to, that's supposed to be a negative there. Let's clarify that a little better. That kind of looked like something else. Whoa, got rid of part of the 4 too. There we go. Okay, so what do we got going on here? Negative 39. Is that right? Negative 39. Yeah. Alright, and so we end up with x is equal to negative 39 over 2. Negative 39 over 2. And you can always take these, plug them in. Alright, believe it or not, 51 here, 51 over 2 here. That should give you 45. And you can always test that out there. Alright, so let's go back. Let's make sure negative 39 over 2 and 51 over 2. Making sure negative 39 over 251. Yep. Alright. And then of course we can plug those in. 39 over 2, comma 51 over 2. If you don't want to see the answer and just see if you got it right. Woo, not correct. Oh, because I didn't put it there. Got it. Anyway, I didn't put a forward slash. There was a comma right there. Wasn't paying attention, but that figures. Yes, it does. I need to test this thing just to make sure. Negative 13, 21, comma 21. Yep. Anyway, sorry I changed problem on you there. I wasn't paying attention and didn't write it in right. Gotta watch out for those things. Okay, so we're over here at GoToMath practicing something, our algebra. Okay, just come on by, check it out, see you later. Hey, we're here at GoToMath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations, and we're looking at 6.2. We can find it. There it is. We got it. So let's write that down. X plus 15, absolute value, let's see, then the absolute value of x plus 17 is equal to 77. Got it. Okay, so what are we doing? We're bringing that up, aren't we? So we got the absolute value of x plus 15 plus the absolute value of x plus 17 is equal to 77. Okay, so we want to make sure that we wrote everything down correctly. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is drop these absolute value bars. X plus 15 plus x plus 17 is equal to 77. Collect up your like terms. We got 2x plus, and then of course 15 times 17 is, what is that, 32? Yep. Obviously. Bringing that 32 now over to the right hand side. All right. So that becomes 2x is equal to 77 minus 32. X is equal to, so we want to go 77 minus 32 is 45 over 2. Remember taking that 2 now diagonally down. Okay, and that's a 4 there. Now, does that reduce down? What do you think? Obviously not. Alright, let's draw a divider line. Try to draw a divider line anyway. So this time we're going to drop the absolute value bars and do what we've been doing, and that is make the right hand side negative 77. Okay, we're going to collect up like terms. Alright, minus 77. Take that 32 over to the right hand side makes that minus 32, right? And then we're going to take that 2 diagonally down. So we got 77, 32 is 109 over 2, and whoa, I about made a mistake. That's negative 109, right? Yeah. Okay. And of course, does that divide by 2, or could I say, is that reduced down? And answer that's no. So we got 45 over 2 and negative 109 over 2. Let's go back. Negative 109 over 2 and 45 over 2, yeah. There we go, right? And I guess I need to come up here and check that. This computer just likes to do things on its own without being told. I think it knows it's ready for the trash can, so it's trying to rebel or something. Anyways, that's correct. Okay, so come on by somewhere. Come on by GoToMath.com, practice, and I'll see you later. Hey, we're over here at GoToMath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations and click on 7.1. How's that? There we go. Find the solutions to the equation, write in numerical order. So look at this nasty looking thing. I don't know what that is. I gotta remember how to do this. Okay, so we got the absolute value of x minus 8 plus the absolute value of x minus 10 is equal to the absolute value of x plus 14. Yeah. Okay. Got that? Let's head on over to the board. So we got the absolute value of x minus 8 plus the absolute value of x minus 10 is equal to the absolute value of x plus 14. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just drop those absolute value bars. That's always the first thing to do, finding one of the solutions. Okay. Now, let's get all our like terms over to one side. So let's just go ahead and take this x over here, and then we'll take our constants, put them together, and take them over to this side right here. Okay. So we end up with x, and x is 2x. Well, wait a minute. Let's not write that just yet. Yeah, I guess we can. We take this x over to the left, it becomes minus x. And then, of course, we've got negative 8 minus 10, that's negative 18, and take it over to the right. Now, of course, the 14 stays. So that becomes negative 18, bring it over to the right, it's going to become positive 18. Okay. And 2x minus x is just x. 14 plus 18 is 32. Is that right? 32. Why not? Okay, so that looks like one of the solutions, x is equal to 32. And of course we can always come up here and check that out. And I guess we could do that. 32 minus 8 is going to be 24. So we're just checking right here. So let's see, we got 24 plus, and then 32 minus 10 is 22. Question is that going to be equal to, if we took 32 plus 14, we get 46. And looks like, so this side here would be 46. And let's see, 44, 5, 6, yeah, 46. So looks like that solution's working out there. Okay, see what we just did. Alright, now let's take a look at the other solution. So we go ahead, drop the absolute value bars here. X minus 8 plus x minus 10. We're going to take the right hand side and throw a negative 1 in right here, okay? But when we do, we drop the absolute value bars, right? And we have x plus 14, which I'm about to run out of room here on. All right. So now we have, let's just rewrite this. We have x minus 8 plus x minus 10 is equal to negative x minus 14. Negative x minus 14. So we go ahead, take this x here, and let's take it to the other side. And so we have x and x. Once again, we have 2x, these two x's here, plus x. And just to jazz some things up here, we'll add those together. That gives us negative 18. Take it over to the right hand side. Now remember, this is a negative 14 here, so we don't want to forget that. Since this is a negative 18, we take it to the right hand side. It becomes positive 18. And so now we have 3x is equal to negative 18, or negative 14 plus 18 is just 4, right? I hope so. 4. Okay. And so we end up with x is equal to 4/3. We're taking that 3 diagonally down. And that looks like the other solution. And of course you can take that 4/3 and plug it in up here. So we have 4/3. I'll just do this here. 4/3 minus 8 gives us negative 20 over 3, but negative 20 over 3 look at here. We got the absolute value of 4/3. I should probably just write this out, plus 4/3 minus 10. That should be equal to 4/3 plus 14. If it's not, then that's not a solution to our equation, is it? So anyway, we get this one here, we get 20 over 3. 20 over 3 plus, and then this one right here, 4 minus 30 is, let's see, I'm trying to do this in my head here. Okay, 26. 26 over 3. Okay, we get 26 over 3. And of course that's going to be 46 over 3, which is 46 over 3. And then let's see, 3 times 14 is 42, 42, 46 over 3. So we get 46 over 3 over here on that side also. So it looks like it's checking out. Alright, so our two solutions are 32 and 4 over 3. So 4 over 3 and 32. Let's go back. Okay, 4/3 and 32. Yep, kind of sloppy there, isn't it? So we'd type in 4/3, comma 32. Hold our breath. You never know. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so we're over here at gotomath.com doing something, trying to get it right. And come on by. See you later. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. And we're looking at 7.2. Looks like. Alright, so we got the absolute value of x plus 16 plus the absolute value of x plus 17 is equal to the absolute value of 45 minus x. 45 minus x. Alright. So let's move over to the whiteboard. Okay, did you get all that? absolute value of x plus 16. Sounds like I hear the tornado sirens going off. And I'm trying to figure out why, because this is the 21st of the month. And normally that's always the second Tuesday in the month. And is this the second Tuesday? No, this is actually Wednesday. That's all kind of weird. I might want to check the weather. But I think I see the sun shining out there. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I need to duck and cover. Okay. And I'm out here in the country. We're at x plus 16. I don't think you can hear them sirens, but they're pretty loud. Strange. Might want to turn on the news maybe. Alright, what are we doing here? This just kind of trips me out. X plus. Great. Drop the absolute value bars. We got to get on with the show here. I'm going to run out of time. I've only got 10 minutes. X plus 17 is equal to, but I try to get most of my videos in under 10 minutes. Average time, believe it or not, it was actually kind of shocking when I first started doing this. But people don't tend to watch videos past 5 minutes, and I am not kidding. And I've got lots of statistics to show that. So after 5 minutes, people are like zoned out and ready to move on to the next topic, I guess. It's pretty bizarre. 33. Who would have known? Okay, we're just collecting up like terms over here. Nothing new. Yep, 5 minutes. Actually, it's like 4.5 minutes is average. And they're zoned out. I guess people are like, I'm done. I gotta go eat lunch, go to bed, take a nap or something. Let's take that negative x over to the left, and we're going to move 33 over here whether he likes it or not. So we have 2x is 2x, 2x, 2x. Bring that over. Plus x is equal to 45 minus 33. All right. Of course, tornadoes are known to just pop out of nowhere these days. I even heard they had a tornado in California not too long ago. I was like, they get earthquakes and tornadoes now. That is just too funny. Of course, we're getting earthquakes now. So I don't know what's going on in the world. It's getting crazy. 12 over 3 is 4. I mean, it's getting out of hand. Well, they say, you know what they say in the Bible? You won't know what season it is. I don't know, that's what somebody told me anyway. You won't know the seasons. Let's see. What are we doing? Oh. Okay, so we got one of the solutions is 4. Hopefully that's it after all my jabbering. And now the next thing we do, go ahead and drop those absolute value signs since we throw a negative out in front of this guy. So we end up with x plus 16 plus x plus 17. Whoa, that looks like, it's things like that right there is what causes mistakes. Yeah, especially that. Is equal to, I'm running out of room. You know what? I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to like hurry up. Like I said, 5 minutes. Let's see, plus, you'll be moving on to the next video on some other buddy's YouTube channel. I'm still running out of room. Plus x. I've had to, right, we're distributing that negative across. Okay, so we end up with 2x. 16 and 17. I already did that. Let's not do that again. 33. Let's not do that again. Is equal to negative 45 minus x. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this negative x over to this side so it becomes positive x. So we end up with something is fishy. Why is that? That should be a positive. I almost made a mistake. Right? We're distributing the negative across. It's negative 45 plus x. Whew, man, there we go. So that becomes minus x. So we end up with 2x minus x is equal to negative 45 minus 33. Yep, that's how mistakes are made. So negative 45 minus 33. What do we got on that? I got negative 78. That just doesn't sound right. Negative 78. I ain't got time to plug all that stuff in. Let's just, alright, I went ahead, came on over to the page and hit the answer button there. I was holding my breath. Well, that's what we got, negative 78 and 4. Let's just go ahead and make sure. 78, 4. We should really kind of go back and check. Not correct. Wasn't that the answer? Negative 78 and 4? My intuition was telling me something was fishy. Let's just check this real quick here. We got time, I think. 4 plus 16. I just made, okay, that's 20. Somebody write that down. That's 20 plus, and then 4 plus 17 is 21. I can do that in my head. 21, so that's 42, or 41 on the left, and then 45 minus 4 is 41, so 4 checks out. And then negative 78, I may just plus 16, we gotta hurry. We got negative 62, so that's positive 62, and then negative 78 plus 17 is 61, so that's going to be plus 61. So we got 62 and 61. 62 plus 61 is 123. Okay, so then we have 45 minus a negative 78, and I get 123. So that's the correct answer. I'm not going to redo this video. I just need to go in there and find out what's going on here. That just needs to be reprogrammed. But everything's cool. It's all cool, man. Everything's cool. There you go. Alright, so there you go. See you later, alligator. After a while, the 3 crocodiles. Alright, we're here at GoToMath.com. Come on by, check it out. See you later. We're at GoToMath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. And let's, what are we doing? 8.1, I believe. If I can find it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Okay, so find the solutions. This should look familiar if you've been working through the problem sets. We've got the absolute value of 2 over 13 x minus 14 and is equal to 31. Alright, so this should be trivial, and sections 8, 9, and 10 are just kind of quizzing you on some previous sections. Alright, so we're just going to be dealing basically with fractions from here on out. Well, maybe not in 9 and 10, but anyway, in this section here, 8. Alright, so let's head over to the whiteboard and get this thing worked out. So we've got the absolute value of 2 over 13 x. Now, I'm just going to say something here real quick. That this fraction right here may not be reduced, and you might need to reduce it down. So, just to give you some heads up on that, you want to reduce that down before you actually go on any further. Okay, so here we go. So we got the absolute values. So step 1, we're going to, well, that's not part of step 1 actually. We're going to drop the absolute value bars. So we're going to write 2 over 13 x minus 14 is equal to 31. So that's one of the equations. And then Go ahead and do a little divider bar here, try to write straight. And so we drop the absolute value bars, 2 over 13, x minus 14, except this time, remember we multiply through by negative over here on this side, which doesn't make much sense, but just follow me. We never did really go over what the definition of the absolute value is. It's a piecewise defined function that is broken up into pieces. But anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and solve for x over here in this equation first. So remember, we take this 14 to the other side, or you can think of it as adding 14 to both sides, however you want to think about that. So we end up with 2 over 13, x is equal to 31 plus 14. All right. So at this point, you should be working a whole lot faster than I am. And of course, if you go by the timer on the web page up in the right corner that actually times your speed, or it tells you time you should get this completed in, you're going to have to work a whole lot faster than this. So we got 45, we've got 2 over 13x, right, and then we just multiply through by the conjugate to both sides, or you can think of this as moving 13 diagonally up and 2 diagonally down, and that's usually the way I think of it. So we end up with 13 times 45 over 2, and of course we want to reduce that down if we can, and don't see that happening, right? Don't see that happening. So we got 13 times 45, which is 585 over 2. 585 over 2. So let's see if I can squeeze that in here somewhere. X is equal to 585 over 2. So that looks like one of our solutions. Nice, lovely number. So we go ahead and do the same thing over here. Basically, bring that to the other side. So we have negative 31 plus 14. Right? And then we have 2 over 13x. And let's go ahead and get that guy right there. And I'm getting, that should be like negative 17. Alright. We'll go ahead and rewrite this, squeeze that in. So bringing 13 diagonally up and 2 diagonally down. And so we're left with, okay, so we've got 17 times 13, which that's not going to reduce down any, over 2, or is it? Let's see, 20 now. Okay, so we end up with x is equal to negative 221 over 2. That's what I'm getting. Alright, so that'd be the other solution. And remember, you can always take this number and come up here and plug it in and hope for the best, right? So you'd plug this in up here. And it better be equal to 31. That's for sure. Something's not right. Okay, so let's remember these two numbers. 580. Is that 585? Yeah, over 2. Negative 21. Negative 221 over 2. Yeah. Okay, so that looks good. I guess we can come up here since we've got a minute or two left. Negative, we're not going to need a minute or two. And make sure that this checkbox is working properly. 5 over 2. Correct. Alright. So you can come on by, test yourself out, check it out, practice, and I'll see you there maybe. Alright, bye. Okay, we're over here at GoToMath.com working some algebra. Let's go down to, what are we doing? Absolute value equations. Just forgot what was going on there. I need to program that stuff. 8.2, I believe. Let's That's what we're working on. Find the solutions to the equation right in numerical order from smallest to largest. Okay. So let's go ahead and spend a second here and write this down. 10x minus 3 over 17 is equal to 41. So this is kind of a quiz on doing fractions and reducing fractions. And I should also state that this fraction here may not be completely reduced, so you'll want to do that. Okay. Alright. Let's get over here and work on that. So we have the absolute value of 10x minus 3 over 17, let's close that up, is equal to 41. So of course the first thing we want to do here is drop the absolute value bars. So we have 10x minus 3 over 17 is equal to 41. And then go ahead now and take this 3 over 17 over to the right hand side. So we have 10x is equal to 41 plus 3 over 17. And now we'll want to get all that into one single fraction there. And I'm just going to go ahead and do I need to do that for you? I don't know. We'll do some side work up here. How's that? So we have 41 plus 3 over 17. So we're going to want to get a common denominator, and of course there's a 1 right here. So that means that let's multiply this side by 17 over 17. Remember, 17 over 17 is just 1. And then what do we need to multiply this side by? Well, nothing, because 17 times 1 is 17. And therefore we have a 17 as a denominator under this fraction, and now we have a 17 under this fraction here, and so we just need to multiply 17 times 41. So pretty much that simple, right? So 17 times 41 plus 3, let's see, let me do that in my head. I think I got that, 697 plus 3, and that's going to be a nice 700 over 17. Alright, so this is going to end up reducing to 700 over 17, and then we have 10x. Okay, so we want to take this 10 diagonally down. Now look at here. Before we multiply that 10 times that 17, if you have 10 times 17, look, 10 goes into 700 7 times, or 70 times actually. So this thing here is gonna actually reduce down, isn't it? A little bit anyway. Okay, so 70 times, we have x is equal to 70 over 17. Okay, alright, so we didn't write that other equation down, did we? It's okay. So we dropped the absolute value bars. We wrote equals 41, but now we got to do it again. So 10x minus 3 over 17 is equal to, but this time it's negative 41, right? Negative 41. Okay. So we end up with 3 over 17 minus 41, and we have the 10x over here, right? We just took the 3 over 17 over to the right, and it becomes positive. So now we want to go ahead and get this all into one single fraction here, and so that means we're going to take the 17, multiply it by the 41, add the tops. So we have 3 minus 41 times 17. We're going to skip a few steps there, and then of course divide that by 17, and we get a nice lovely number there is negative 694 over 17. And of course we still have the 10x here. Okay, so we go ahead and take that 10 diagonally down, so we have x is equal to negative 694 over 10 times 17. So we want to make sure this will reduce down, and I know 2 goes into this number and into that number, so we know that this thing is going to end up reducing down maybe just a little bit anyway. Right. Okay. So we end up with x is equal to negative 347 over 85. Okay, 10 goes into that. Let's see, 2 goes into 5. 5 is 85, yeah. Alright. So here's our two solutions. Now remember, you can always check those by taking them and bringing them up over here, plugging them in, and this side should equal 41. And if it doesn't, then that means that that solution is not correct. Alright. So let's remember our numbers here, 7 over 17 and negative 347 over 85. Negative 347 over 85 and 70 over 17. Right? Is that right? Yeah, 70 over 17. Okay, and I'll let you go ahead and plug those in right there. Okay, so we're over here at GoToMath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Hey, we're over here at GoToMath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. And what are we doing? 9.1, I believe. I think that's what we need to be looking at. Find the solutions to the equation, right in numerical order. So, whoa, what's going on here? So this ought to be really old hat for you. Trivial. Let's go ahead and write this down. 20 is equal to the absolute value of 2x plus 4. Right. You should be able to go, man, I know how to do this. This is easy. Let's move over to the whiteboard. So we have 20 is equal to the absolute value of 2x plus 4. Alright, so the first thing we want to do here is go ahead and drop the absolute value sign. So we have one equation, and then we'll go ahead and write the other equation. We're going to multiply this side by negative. Make it negative, whatever you want to do there. And then 2x plus 4. Okay, 2x plus 4. Alright, let's go ahead and solve for this equation here. So we're going to bring that 4 over to the other side. Makes that a minus 4. We're left with 2x, and so this becomes what? 16. And just bring the 2 diagonally down. And therefore x is equal to 8. So that should be one of our solutions, and of course you can take that 8, plug it in up here. We get 2 times 8 is 16, and 16 plus 4 is 20, and the absolute value, bring that down, the absolute value of 20 is 20. So therefore we know that checks out. And then on this side, we're going to take this 4 over to the other side, so we end up with negative 4 minus 20 is 2x, and so this becomes negative 24. Taking that 2 diagonally down. Right, and so we end up with negative 12. X is negative 12, right? So we can take that negative 12, plug it in up here. Negative 12 times 2 is negative 24, and negative 24 plus 4 is negative 20, but the absolute value of negative 20 is 20. Right? That's what the absolute value does. Okay, so there you go. There's two solutions there. X is equal to 8, and x is equal to negative 12. Come up here, making sure that all works out. Negative 12 and 8. There you go. Alright, and I'll let you plug that in the green checkbox there. Alright, we're over here at GoToMath.com, practicing. See you later. Okay, we're over here at GoToMath.com. Practice, or click on the algebra button that you can't see. Let's hit absolute value equations, and I think we're looking at 9.2. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to do this pretty quickly at this point. If you don't, well, I got a video for you to help you out. Alright, so let's write that down. We got 14 equals the absolute value of 2x minus 1. And you're probably like, didn't we do something like this earlier? Well, we did. I think it was in one of these two sections here. Can't remember. But I threw the 14 over here on this side, and sometimes that trips students up, especially if they've been working it one way, and then all of a sudden it's written differently. It's like, whoa, what just happened? Right. Okay. 2x minus 1. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is drop the absolute value bars. And now let's go ahead and take this negative 1 to the other side. It becomes positive 1. Yeah, if you've been working something one way and then all of a sudden things get switched around, sometimes you get confused. I know all about it. And so take that 2 diagonally down, so we have 15 over 2 is equal to x. And of course, right, that's the same thing as writing that. And that's what you probably have seen. Alright, x equal to 15 over 2. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and work that other equation out. So now we're going to rewrite this, drop the absolute value bars and rewrite. This time we make that a negative 14. 2x minus 1. Taking the 1 to the other side, so we have 1 minus 14 is equal to 2x. So we have negative 13 is equal to 2x. And negative 13, take that 2 diagonally down now. Alright, so there's our other solution. Negative 13 over 2 and 15 over 2. So let's go over here. Negative 13 over 2 and 15 over 2. And I'll let you go ahead and plug those in. Get that. Alright, so we're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. We're at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations, and we're looking at 10.1. If I can get it there. Okay. So let's write this down. 37 is equal to the absolute value of 8x plus 9 plus 10. All right. And what are we doing here? My mind got sidetracked off on some stuff. Alright, we got 37 is equal to the absolute value of 8x plus 9 and plus 10. There. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is let's get this 10, take it to the other side before we do anything. So we have negative 10 plus 37 is equal to 8x plus 9. Alright, so what do we got going on here? We got 27 is equal to 8x plus 9. 8x plus 9 and see 10, 37. Okay, so making sure I wrote that down. I'm having to redo this video twice because I wrote it down wrong. Don't want to do that again. Okay, so we got this in more of a standard form, even though usually this is over on this side. But now we can start working on it. All right, so we're going to write the 27, drop the absolute value bars. 8x plus 9. Right, take the 9 to the other side, so we have negative 9 plus 27 is equal to 8x, and of course that's going to end up being 18. I think so. Oh my gosh. So we got 18 is equal to 8x, Take the 8 diagonally down, 18 over 8. And of course, that'll reduce down, obviously, to 9 over 4. That should reduce. Well, you know what? We can just write that right there. How's that? 9 over 4. Yep. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do part 2 of the horror story. All right, so we're going to look at this, right? And this time we're going to make that 27 negative. 27, and didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of that. All right, and we're dropping the absolute value bar. So we have 8x plus 9. So go ahead and take that 9 to the other side. And because it's positive, take it to the other side and make it negative. Yeah. Right. Minus 27 is equal to 8x. And so what do we got going on here? Negative 36. Negative 36 is equal to 8x. Negative 36, take that 8 diagonally down. Remember, that's just the shortcut way of looking at it. Instead of multiplying through by the reciprocal to both sides, we got to shorten some things down. So I got negative 9 halves. Boy, that's a big negative sign, isn't it? Alright, so here's our two solutions, 9/4 and negative 9 halves. So let's go back. 9/4 and negative 9 halves. Can we remember that? Try to. Negative 9 halves and 9/4. Yep. Okay. So there you go. You can go ahead and type those in. You know what? Let's just type them in because we want to make sure. This is all about making sure everything works properly anyway. Negative 9 halves and 9/4. Remember, numerical order, smallest to largest. Correct. You are correct. Alright, so we're over here at somewhere. We're going to go to math.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Alright, we're going to go to math.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to absolute value equations. And I believe we're looking at 10.2 here. 10.2, the last problem of this section for right now anyway. Just can't imagine how many other different ways I can write this. There was some stuff I kind of left out in this section, but as long as you understand the basics, that's what's important. We'll probably end up revisiting absolute value equations or something later on at some point in time. And as we work, this is more of an intermediate algebra. As we work more to into the college algebra section, which is really high school algebra, but anyway. So we got 11 is equal to 2x minus 4 plus 4. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they call it here in the U.S., college algebra, but, I mean, this is not college algebra, but it's kind of basic high school algebra, really. What are we doing? We need to bring up the whiteboard and quit jabbering and yabbering. 11 is equal to the absolute value of 2x minus 4 plus 4. Right. So let's go ahead and first get this 4 over to the other side. Now you notice this is what you got to really be careful about. At least I do. If I would have made that not very long, it kind of looks like a 12, and you're liable to write 12 down, so be careful about that. I keep kind of harping on that kind of stuff. We've got 11 minus 4, and we all know what the heck that is, right? Hopefully. 7 is equal to. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop these absolute value bars. Okay. So let's go ahead now and take the 4 over to the other side. So we have 4 plus 7 is equal to 2x. And what do we got going on here? 11 is equal to 2x. Take that 2 diagonally down. So we have 11 over 2 is equal to x. Right? It's pretty sad. Alright, so what do we got going on here? So now let's work on this other side. I should have wrote absolute value bars here, but I didn't. But anyway, so we end up with, we took the 4 to the other side, we ended up with 7, right? We dropped the absolute value bars, but we need to make that a negative 7 now. 2x minus 4. So now we got this new equation here, which I need to define that a little better. That was some cockeyed looking 7, that's for sure. There we go. Okay, so go ahead, let's take that 4 to the other side. Alright, and so now we're left with what? 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Alright. Negative 3 is equal to 2x. Take the 2 diagonally down. Alright, so there's the other solution. We'll box them in just for the heck of it. So remember, you can always take your solution, or what you think your solution is, and come up here and check it, right? So let's just do that quickly. Let's put 11 halves in here. So that means the 2's cancel out. You're left with 11. And what's 11 minus 4? 11 minus 4. Something's fishy about that. I don't know what it is. No, that's right. 11 minus, let's see, 11 over 2, 2's cancel out. 11 minus 4 is 7. Yeah, and the absolute value of 7 is 7, and 7 plus 4 is 11. Okay, works out. And of course, you do the same thing with negative 3 halves. 2's cancel out. You got negative 3. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. And the absolute value of negative 7 is 7, and 7 plus 4 is 11. So there you go. Those guys are checking out. What are we doing here? Negative 3 halves and 11 halves. Just making sure. Negative 3 halves and 11 halves. You can go ahead. Tell you what, we'll do that right now. So negative 3 over 2, comma 11 over 2. Remember, no spaces in the green checkbox. Correct! You are the winner. Alright, so finally we're done with this section for right now. 20 problems is good enough. 10 sections, whatever you want to call that. Look at there. Whoa. It's randomly going back and forth. Alright, so we're here at gotomath.com. Check it out. See you later. Bye.